Hello, we are now on, well, this is a 2-day lesson for lesson 13. We did lesson 1 or day 1 yesterday, and today you are going to watch the second half of the video. I would really watch that before you try this today. The first half of the video to 525 was yesterday. For day 2, you need to watch the rest of the video because things are going to change just slightly. So this is what we did on day 1, and now we're going to be looking at day 2. Now day 2 gets a little tiny bit different. You are going to be solving 31 take away 27 and 25 take away 15 in a vertical equation using this space below. Once again, I don't think there was enough space for that to be able to happen. So like I did yesterday, I have taken this and put it on a larger piece of paper so you have more space. But of course, you are welcome to do it here if you think you can write that small. It doesn't really matter to me. It's up to you. I know our face-to-face students are going to be using a little bit larger space. So you're going to be solving 31 take away 27 and 25 take away 15 vertically using this space below. Then you're going to circle to tell if the number sentence is true or false. So we have a number sentence here. It's a vertical, and we're comparing both sides of the equation. So if you watch that video carefully, that should be very easy for you to do. And they did remind you that you should show your solution or your difference underneath and underneath, which I'll demonstrate in a few minutes. And you're going to be doing problem number 2, problem number 3, they're very similar, and then problem number 4 is a word problem that you're going to need to solve. And then you're coming over to your exit ticket. Now on your exit ticket, we decided that our exit ticket should match a little bit more closely what we were doing in our lesson today. So if you would like, you can set this up the same way we did the other 2 problems. With the 2 problems that are there, we have 75 take away 28, and 75 take away 28 is equal to 63 take away 35. So I've set it up as a horizontal equation for my face-to-face students, and if you want to do that at home as well, you can do that. And again, you're going to need to tell whether this is a true or false statement. So that's what your exit ticket will look like for today. And now that you've watched the video and you're ready to go, you're going to pause the video. You are going to solve problem 2, problem 3, problem 4, coming over to your exit ticket. And I am going to set this up just so you can see what you're doing. I'm going to say 75 take away 28 equals 63 take away 35, and you are deciding if that is true or false. Is that a true statement or is that a false statement? And of course, you need to always send your exit ticket to your teacher when you're done. So pause the video and do those problems, and then I'll get back to you and show you whether or not you were on the right track. Of course, I won't be showing you the exit ticket, so go ahead and pause the video. Okay, are you back? So let's go ahead and look at problem number 2 that was on your worksheet. Of course, remember mine's on a larger piece of paper, and you're welcome to either do it that way or do it right on the paper. I just felt like that one was a little bit small. So we're going to look at 31 take away 27 and 25 take away 15. We're going to compare those 2 equations and decide if they are indeed equal. In order to do that, I'm going to need to solve each problem separately. So I'm going to start with 31 take away 27 equals, I'm going to do my dot chip model with my tens and my ones, tens and ones, and I'm always going to model my whole, 1, 2, 3, again reminding you not to have those dots too close, with 1, 1. All right, so now that I have set up and I've shown my whole, Remember, this is your whole, this is your part, and this is the part we're looking for. So the question I want to know after I take a really good look at my whole is, can I do 1, 1, take away 7 ones? Well, I only have 1, so I know I'm going to have to decompose a 10. I'm going to cross it out with a slash because it's not going anywhere. It's just being exchanged or moved into the ones. Carefully, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Notice how I'm leaving a good space in between my chips. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Didn't go anywhere. It just exchanged or decomposed or moved into the ones. All right, so now I am going to have to record what I did in my chip model in my vertical equation. So do I still have 1, 1? Nope, I now have not 1, but 11 ones. All right, do I still have 3 tens? Well, that 10's over here, but in my tens, I don't have 3 anymore. I only have 2. All right, so now I'm going to go back and I'm going to ask the question again. 11 ones take away 7 ones. Can I take 7 away from 11? Here we go. Counting. 1. Remember, if they're going away or coming out of my whole, I need to cross them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to double check that I actually did 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is leaving me with 4. And I don't have 3 tens anymore. I have 2 tens. 2 tens take away 2 tens. I'm going to take those 2 tens out of my whole, which leaves me with 0 tens. So I know that this side of the equation is equal to 4. Remember, you're writing the difference underneath this side of the equation. Now I need to come over to 25, setting it up in a horizontal equation, in a vertical equation, and I'm subtracting. 1's lined up with 1's and 10's lined up with 10's. I'm making my place value chart with the chip model. So I've got my 10's and I've got my 1's. I need to represent my whole, which of course is 25, part and part. So 1, 2 10's and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Being careful that I keep a good space between those. All right, so now I am going to ask myself the question again. Can I take 5 ones, take away 5 ones? Do I have enough? Well, yes, I do. So I am not going to decompose. I have enough. So I've taken a really good look at my whole, and I can see that I do not need to decompose. So I'm not going to. I'm going to continue by saying 5 ones, take away 5 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 leaves me with 0 ones. Now I'm looking at my tens. I have 2 tens. There's my 2 tens. 2 tens take away 1 10. I'm taking away 1 10. And I still have 1 10 left. All right, so I'm going to write that underneath my equation on the right side of the equation. And are they equal to each other? Well, I'm going to say that they are not equal. If you draw a line through the equal sign, it says that they are not equal. So that means this statement would not be true. It would be false. And congratulations to you if you did a great job and got that correct. Now I'm just going to quickly show you the other problems. And here is problem number 3. You should have had 35 and 35, and they are equal. So this statement would be true. I did not need to decompose on 78 take away 43 equals 35, but I did use my chip model. I did have to decompose, however, on 81 take away 46. I had 7 10s and 11 1s when I got finished with my chip model. make sure that when you're decomposing that you do a slash. And if you got this one correct, congratulations. Let's take a look at the word problem, which would be problem number 4. Here is the word problem. Oops, guess what Miss Starr forgot to do? Oh my gosh, Mrs. Smith has 39 tomatoes in her garden. Mrs. Thompson has 52 tomatoes in her garden. How many fewer? Oh, that's always a big hint that I'm probably going to need to subtract. How many fewer tomatoes does Mrs. Smith have than Mrs. Thompson? So I am going to be comparing these two and finding out how many fewer. When I started, this was my unknown. All right, so I had Mrs. Thompson, which was my whole, and Mrs. Smith, which was one of my parts, because I'm trying to find out how many fewer. So Mrs. Thompson had 52, and Mrs. Smith had 39. I'm finding out the unknown, which would be how many fewer. I started with my whole, 52, which was Mrs. Thompson, and I had my part, which was Mrs. Smith, and I was looking for my missing part, or how many fewer. I set that up in a vertical equation and set up my chip model. I ended up with 4 10s and 12 1s because I did have to decompose, and Mrs. Smith has 13 fewer tomatoes than Mrs. Thompson, and I didn't quite spell that right. No, I did spell it right. So 13 would be my missing part. All right, and then you had after that, you were going to be doing your exit ticket, and there is your exit ticket. Make sure that you write your difference underneath each side of the equation. Please make sure that you are using the chip model for each of these problems with your 10s and your 1s. I know this is new, but we can do it with your 10s and your 1s, just as a little hint, and then indicate whether the answer is that a true or false statement. 72 take away 28 equals 63 take away 35. All right, so when you're finished, you're going to make sure your name is on it and send that to your teacher. And you, my friends, have a great day of learning.